I'm Jason Barr. Arizona head coach Tommy Lloyd hasn't had to worry about the Big 12's new player availability report. That is until now. And the Wildcats have updated the status of Peat and Dwayne Aristode ahead of tomorrow's home game against BYU. Peat is out with a muscle strain in his lower leg. The program says he will be reevaluated next week and will return to the court when he is cleared by the medical staff. The Beans will miss the Houston game as well. Peat is the team's second leading scorer. And Dwayne Aristode will also miss tomorrow night's game against BYU. He has what is only described as an illness. Aristode has been the eighth man in the Wildcats' eight-man rotation, so this leaves the Wildcats with just six of their regular players. More on that now. The Huddle is KG9's.
All right, so these two players for the University of Arizona Wildcats, they both missed this game versus BYU. Now, they did go on to win this game without these two players by 7 points. You see the BYU Cougars, Arizona Wildcats. Now, that was on Wednesday. Okay, and that was their last game. So Wednesday, February 18. I'm just gonna. Here's Peat right here. They said an illness, muscle strain. Is that what they said? They said this guy had a muscle strain, and then this guy had an illness. Dwayne Aristode. Right here. So both these guys end up missing the game. I heard him say that this guy wouldn't be available for the next game against Houston, but not 100% about Aristode. And I just want to show you some interesting connections, okay? And, this should be simple. You see the game was on Wednesday, right here, with this victory, and it was a combined score of 143 points, and Wednesday equals 143. That's in the reverse cipher. You see the alphabet in reverse, 143. Total score of the game, 143. I brought this up in my last video because it connected to Arizona with the death of I can't even remember the guy's name, the guy who was in Euphoria and Grey's Anatomy. It's my last video, and I had to steal this slide or give you a sample of this because this hit in that video, and there was a lot of Arizona connections with that character. But notice Peat, his birthday is January 20th, 120. And look at their jersey numbers. You see 1, 2, and 0 with their jersey numbers. Even Peat has with the 120 birthday, his name equals 120 in that reverse cipher. Right? And you can see that Arizona has 24 victories and Peat equals 24. Now he's trending. Right? With this muscle strain. Check that out. And, Arizona 24-2, and they're even ranked number 4. So, and Arizona equals 42. So you get the 2 and the 4 all over the place right there. You can see that Arizona and Peat also equal 39, and he's on the Arizona team. Now this is Peat down here on the bottom left, okay? Even 39, Arizona and Peat. Now, the guy with the illness, and they're not saying much more, over on the right in the bottom corner, his name equals 93. That's his full name. So that's 39 reversed. So it's the same numbers, okay? And I like to use this is why it's cool just breaking down any story, because it kind of exposes the language and how these guys end up where they're at. Things are that meticulous. It's almost like there's one system controlling all of this stuff. And then you have under that system, you have like NCAA basketball, the NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, NBA, entertainment industry, rappers. It's like it all falls under this system, and the system controls these characters. That's my opinion. Uh, and you could see even BYU equals 12, and 120 is like 12 with the Koa Peat birthday, and that's the Wednesday opponent. And I'll try to pronounce the full name: Tita Kaku Dwayne Aristode, bottom right. You know why that's amazing? Because Koa Pete's birthday is 3 days after Dwayne Wade, and his teammate, his name is Dwayne, which kind of makes me think of, obviously, Dwayne Wade. Look, Dwayne Wade's got the 117 birthday, and he shares a name with Aristode here. Look, 117. You see the name Dwayne, and it's a basketball connection, right? That's amazing because Dwayne Wade played for Miami. There's actually a Miami, Arizona. So that's kind of amazing. But you can see Dwayne Wade with the 117 birthday and Koa Pete 120, and then his teammate trending with him at the same time. His name is Dwayne. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Right? And, this is also the Big 12, Arizona Wildcats of the Big 12. So BYU equals 12. Check that out. So Koa Pete, I don't even know what position. He's a forward. Koa Pete is a forward for the Arizona Wildcats. And Dwayne Aristode, he's actually a Dutch. He's Dutch. A Dutch college basketball player. And his position, I'm not sure. Position. And Aristode is like Arizona. He's also a forward. Look at his name. Aristode is like Arizona. I just caught that. Aristode. Arizona. You see that? Man. And BYU even equals 48. And Arizona equals 48. And, excuse me, Arizona equals 84, but Arizona's the 48th state. And 4 plus 8 or 8 plus 4 equals 12. So you see how that works? 9 plus 3 is 12. You see that? 9 plus 3 is 12. 4 plus 8 is 12. Arizona made a state in 1912. Arizona's birthday, the 14th day of the second month. 14 minus 2 is 12. You know? Right? Aristode's August 17 birthday. That's 1 day before me. Look at his last I think that's his last. Yeah, his last birthday that leaves 136 days in the year. 136. His name equals 163 in the ordinal cipher. 163, 136. I always tell you that this 156 pops up with Arizona news. The 156 Pete's birthday is 156 days after Aristode. Okay. I just caught another connection too. But the guy who you see on the floor here, birthday 156 days after Aristode, you see over here on the right, 156, 156 prime 911. Arizona's forever linked with 911 and the towers, okay? Because the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the New York Yankees after 9/11, right? And, that's a big example of how Arizona's connected to this 911. And I mentioned the death of that actor in my last video. His birthday was the 9th day of the 11th month. And I told you there was a lot of Arizona connections there. He even played a guy named Tom Chandler in another show. And there's a Chandler, Arizona. Okay, go check out that last video. I can't remember the guy's name as I'm recording here. Right? Now, I just caught something because look at this guy, Peat, bottom left. Right? They say he had a muscle strain. His name's Peat. We just had Meg the Stallion's birthday the other day, and she's got Peat in her name. So you got a Dwayne Wade. You got a Dwayne Wade, and you got a Meg the Stallion connection here. I just caught this as well. Look, her name's Peat, Megan the Stallion, and her birthday was February 15th. And that's one day before Arizona's birthday. Look, Megan the Stallion, rapper, her name's Peat. Okay, and now you have Peat trending a few days after Meg the Stallion's birthday. Right? I just caught that. I mean, that's undeniable. That's undeniable, okay? And this game against BYU was the 18th, so 3 days after Meg the Stallion's birthday. This guy's named Peat, like Meg the Stallion. You see that? Man. God, for real, man. So, I felt like I cut this one short, but not really. Not really, though, huh? Aristode, like Arizona. Here they are right here. And, their upcoming game, I forgot to mention this, is against Houston. Houston equals 112, which is like 12 with those 12s I mentioned. And look, Arizona's ranked 4. Houston is ranked 2. So you get the 42. Remember, Arizona equals 42. Peat 24. The 24-2 record, 2-4-2. See that right there? Man, right? You got Dwayne Wade, you got Meg the Stallion synced up here. Amazing stuff. So they didn't play. Let's take a look at the box score. They pick up the victory. Wow, look at this guy. Had 35 points for BYU. Wow, that's unbalanced. Look at that. 35, 13, and 10. AJ Dibanatsta. I don't know. So here's Arizona. Ivan Karchenkov had 18 points. Jaden Bradley, 12. Let's not forget Bryce James is committed to U of A, but I don't think he's playing yet. Yeah, look, see? No minutes. LeBron's son right there. Oh, and look, remember Dwayne Wade played with LeBron James as well, right? So now LeBron's son is on this guy named Dwayne's team, and then, his teammate birthday is 3 days after Dwayne Wade, and they're both featured in this article. Nice, huh? Okay, so, and again, I'm assuming that they're decent players since they're having an article on them.
Streaming sports talk show. It's every Tuesday with me and Pat. And earlier today,
look at the video. It's 1:17 long. 1:17. That's that Dwayne Wade birthday, 117.
we talked about the injuries to the two players.
When you don't have Peat out there, that hurts you. But not having Dwayne Aristode, who's a terrific defender, doesn't play a lot of minutes, but when he's out there, he's a terrific defender. They missed him too.
Well, this could have been a chance for him to shine, right? Dwayne Aristode has not gotten a lot of minutes.
I'm not worried about that.
All right, so to watch the huddle, just go to KGUT9.com and go to the menu.
So I'm going to play the first part of the video again to make sure I had the illness and the muscle strain right.
I'm Jason Barr. Arizona head coach Tommy Lloyd hasn't had to worry about the Big 12's new player availability report. That is until now. And the Wildcats have updated the status of Peat and Dwayne Aristode ahead of tomorrow's home game against BYU. Peat is out with a muscle strain in his lower leg. The program says he will be reevaluated next week and will return to the court when he is cleared by the medical staff. That means he'll miss the Houston game as well. Peat is the team's second leading scorer. And Dwayne Aristode will also miss tomorrow night's game against BYU. He has what is only described as an illness.
Okay, so I did get those right. Awesome. Okay, so this is Arizona Decodes. We'll see what goes on with these players as we move forward. Arizona's Peat and Aristode sidelined for Wednesday's game. That game's now over. And we have the Houston game, which is on deck, and that's scheduled for Saturday. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe these players make an appearance. Not sure. We'll see. Okay. Arizona Decodes A to Z. Remember, 26 letters in the alphabet, A to Z. Until next time.